so glad you can join us for You Make the Difference today. We're going to talk to Daryl Ogletree with Reborn out of Newnan. They have a special event that's coming to LaGrange that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be on the square on Sunday, July the 22nd at 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and you don't want to miss it.
That's right.
Welcome to the show, Daryl.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be
Yes.
back.
Now tell us about Reborn. Tell us what it is.
Okay. Well, Reborn is a Christian organization, and we hold events throughout the Southeast region. And it's really about just, growth. It's about leadership. It's about discipleship. It's about doing what Jesus did. And we just want to make him proud.
Yes. And so you put on events, and I know you have a gathering or an event.
Yes, ma'am.
Once a quarter up in Newnan. And so tell me what the Reborn experience is.
Okay, well, the Reborn experience is a very unique experience. We've been doing it this is going on our second year. And what we try to do is we embrace a lot of the different arts. So we bring in a lot of poetry, a lot of spoken word, a lot of skits, with the hope to kind of paint a picture of the gospel for our generation. We found that painting a picture helps them articulate and understand the message a lot better. So it's been working the last 2 years. So I think we're just really looking to take it to the next level. So we've been having it in Newnan the last 2 years, but the next level for the organization is to begin to spread it out a lot more. So that's what's coming down the pipeline.
Yes, and we're so glad that you're choosing to spread out into Troup County.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, tell me some of the themes that you have done in the past when you've had a gathering.
Okay, we've done a lot. All of it really stems from leadership and discipleship and just really becoming the best version of yourself. The one that we're doing right now is called All In. Which is really based off the concept that it's not about your cards, right? Because everybody has different gifts or different talents, and a lot of times when you feel like somebody else is more blessed or have a better hand than you, you would almost kind of sit back, right, and not really go all in with what God has given you. So we really want to just inspire the people, encourage the people not to be too concerned about what they don't have, but really to maximize on the gifts that they do have. So, and that's how we really go to the next level in God. So
is that the theme for the event that you're planning on the square in July?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's going to be the concept that we're going to be diving into, and I'm really excited about it. I really believe it's going to bless a lot of people. So
tell me what you have planned for the event. Tell me what's going to happen. I know you've got some praise bands, and tell me all about that, and I know there's more than that.
Yes,
so we want to hear what's going to happen.
Well, we're going to actually be partnering with 808 Ministries.
Yes.
And we're super excited about that. They are a very powerful, anointed, gifted ministry, and we're excited about partnering with 808. Some of the other things that we're going to be doing, we're going to bring in a lot of new types of approaches to the sermon. So I'm going to kind of keep that a hush until the event. We like to keep that level of suspense. You definitely want to come and see it. So we've been working on that, just trying to be as creative as possible, so that way we can begin to go to the next level. So outside of that, we're going to have T-shirts, we're going to have pictures, we're going to have poetry, we're going to have dance. So that's kind of a brief synopsis of that. So yes, ma'am.
Yes, and Reborn was a part of the Break Every Chain that we had in LaGrange in April. Tell me the part that Reborn played.
Well, I think we brought a certain perspective to that, the issue of addiction, breaking addiction. I think my brother Carlos Cannon kind of came in and gave his testimony about his story, And also one of my sisters, Miss J, she came in and recited a poetry piece that she had wrote about addiction and love and how you break addiction with love. So that was we kind of brought that creative artistic element to the Break Every Chain event. So I felt like, you know, it was awesome. It was really awesome. Yeah,
yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Yes, it added excitement to the event.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
also there was a video that was produced.
Yes.
And that was very nice too.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do produce videos for your gatherings, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me about a particular video that you've produced. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but where the people meet in the street.
Yes.
Tell me about that video and how that came about.
Well, that video really illustrated one of the core beliefs of the organization, and that's teamwork. We really believe that it's hard to win in isolation. It's hard to find your purpose in isolation. And we embrace that whole teamwork idea because we believe that we're stronger, we're better together. You can go much farther when you have a strong team. So that video kind of illustrated that even though sometimes it's difficult to kind of be a part of a team, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. So you would see one person coming in, but you will also see the people who would come in behind the scenes. And I think that speaks volumes because a lot of times one would have the tendency to want to be in the front, but it's not necessarily about being in the front, but it's the collective effort of the team. It's kind of what Paul talked about when he said that, you know, we are the body.
Right.
You know, one may be the hand, the one may be the foot. When you're looking at a body, certain parts are more visible than others. However, it doesn't mean that it's more important than others. So we just really embrace that concept of team.
Yes, and your slogan is
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
love that.
Yes.
Okay, now tell me how Reborn got started. Is it an original idea?
I think so. It got started through a relationship. My brother Carlos and I met a few years ago, and the whole Reborn idea was birthed out of that relationship. I think our conversation became the incubator that kind of birthed the Reborn idea. And I think that's a very important element that's going to come out in the event actually, because as I look back over that time, it was a destiny moment. You know, it was a moment that really determined the direction of our lives. So, and really, you only get a handful of those moments in your entire life, point blank period. And you have to be sensitive. You have to be in tune to those moments. Otherwise, you could literally miss your purpose.
Yes.
You could literally miss your purpose. So, to answer your question, it came through a relationship, and in the cultivating of that relationship, Reborn was birthed.
And so was the purpose to tell the story of the gospel in exciting ways?
Yes, yes. I think the message that we deliver or that we highlight is a 2,000-year-old message. It's the same gospel that's been preached for thousands of years. We just try to put a 21st century approach on it. What we like to say is the message is the same, but we just give it in a different method.
Make it relevant.
Yes, make it relevant.
Relevant for today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So,
All right. So how do you reach in to a person's heart in Reborn?
I think that approach we get from Jesus too. He had the tendency to meet people where they were. You know, the woman at the well, he met her where she was. Zacchaeus in the tree, he met him where he was. So I think it's love.
It
you know,
is.
yeah, I think when you really genuinely care about people and you want to see people better, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So
Yes.
it's that whole approach, and we typically take that first. So when you come into the Reborn experience, it's a part of our culture to give you that love, that smile, that warm welcome that a lot of times people don't get throughout the week. So that's how we hope to reach people's hearts. So up until now, it definitely works. So.
So how long does it take you to put together a reborn experience?
Oh, Jesus. It takes a few months because there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of moving parts that plays into the big picture, and a lot of the stuff goes on behind the scene. So it's the timing, everything is regimented, everything is structured and systematic. So it takes a few months to put on one. But however, the more events we put on, the less time it's taking.
Yes.
So, and we have a lot of great people who are joining the organization that's kind of speeding up their whole process to make it more efficient. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about the future.
And what's the feedback that you've heard about Reborn? How impactful has it been on people's lives?
We've heard a lot. From it's totally revolutionized my life and the way I look at life. To it helped me become a better father, a better mother, a better business owner, a better employee. Then that's the whole goal. We just want to see people do better. I think that's what Jesus did. He helped people where they are, and he gave them sight. He gave them the ability to walk again. Like he made people better. So of course we deal with spiritual elements, the soul of a person, but we also want to deal with like the practical side. A lot of people are struggling and hurting, and we just want to do our best to help. So
you address some issues with Reborn that sometimes people find hard to address. And tell me about some of the ways that you've addressed those issues and what impact it's had.
Right. I think one of the hidden issues, and I don't know if it's talked about a lot, is leadership. I think most of the problems that we face with today comes from a lack of leadership. Mm-hmm. And when I say leadership, it says that we all lead. We all lead. I think we have the tendency that when we think leadership, we think executives in a Fortune 500 company, or you run your own organization or something like that. But we all lead in some capacity, in some form, whether it's in your family, whether it is in a business or organization, or just leading your own life. So we really focus on leadership a lot.
Yes.
A lot. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you want people to realize that God has placed greatness in them.
Yes, ma'am.
And so tell me about a time where you were able to focus on that through the story of Peter. Yes. And to remind people of their greatness.
That's right. That's right. Well, Peter is a very interesting fellow. But I think the relationship that he had with Jesus really exemplify the concept that we try to bring to our community, and that's this. Peter was very successful before he met Jesus.
Yes.
He had his own network of ships. He had his own partnerships. He had his own fleet of own boats, and he was a successful fisherman. But when he encountered Jesus, Jesus seen something more in him, and that he didn't even see in himself. So when Jesus met Peter, he said, "Follow me, and I'll make you into fishers of men." So after Jesus finished with Peter, Peter accomplished amazing things. Like, he was one of the founders of the early churches. He was one of the authors of the most sold book in history, the Bible.
Yes.
And he done a lot of major things, and we're still talking about him today. So the whole thought is that greatness was inside of Peter while he was fishing.
On the bank.
On the bank. He was on the boat fishing on the bank, but he had so much more inside of him. And I think that suggests that we have that same type of capability in all of us. And a lot of time it's hidden. And most of the time it doesn't come out until you get around the right people. You get into those relationships that could cause you to become more and become everything that God has called us to be. So that's why that story stands out to
Yes, it does. And I think it happens too when we realize who we are in Christ.
Yes, ma'am.
Because sometimes people get an identity here on earth, maybe that I'm a drug addict,
right.
or that I can't do anything right, and begin to put labels on themselves that were never intended to be placed there.
Right.
And so when they can realize that that's not who I am, but I am who God says I am, then they can come up from that place and really begin to excel.
That's right.
And move forward in God and also in what they do here on earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's greatness in all of us.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think, sometimes we have to have people who tell us that or point that out, that there is greatness in us, and then that helps us know it and begin to discover it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's been challenging for you as you've been doing Reborn for 2 years now? What's been the most challenging thing?
The most challenging, that's a great question. I think because we are a grassroots organization and a startup organization, there's challenges in that in itself, because it's not something that we kind of adopted. A lot of stuff we have to figure out on our own, different types of systems and policies and protocols, but also, we're still looking for like a home office or a place where we could just, have our events more consistently. So it's those little, issues that we're having. But God is providing. He's opening doors. Like we talked about earlier, we're going to be in Troup County this particular experience. And that's what I learned. Sometimes God will push you out of the nest, so he can get you to the place that he wants you to be. So every closed door is not necessarily a bad thing.
That's right.
It's not a bad thing.
Yes, and he'll open doors for you that you never expected him to open.
That's right.
I mean, sometimes you'll end up places that you're really surprised to be there.
That's right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so when I think about the challenges, I don't know if I really, I don't even look at them as challenges. I look at them as opportunities.
Yes.
Opportunity to see what God is doing next, because as I look back over my life, every challenge that I've had literally became an opportunity. Like, God will disturb your comfort zone, and it feels like a challenge. It feels like God is closing doors, crazy stuff is going on, but really he's trying to move you to another space. So he'll disturb your comfort zone. So even the challenges, I embrace. I know it's kind of weird, but it's definitely true. I really embrace the challenges because I found the blessing on the other side of the challenge.
Yes,
so.
And when there is artistic developments, they also need someone who can do things like set up policies and those kinds of things.
Yes.
So I would think that you fall somewhere in there where you're setting up policies and have some structure to it.
Yes, ma'am.
What about artistic? Do you play an instrument, or do you like to act, or anything
Personally?
like that? Yes.
I have a little acting bug somewhere in there.
Good.
Yeah, I think even in college, it was very natural for me. I remember one of my acting teachers. He really surprised me with his response to one of the skits we put on, and it really just, at that moment, it was a glimpse that, hey, it may be something there, you know. So yeah, I think that gift kind of plays into how we put on our experiences.
Yes.
Yeah, but definitely no instrument, but definitely acting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the challenges. What's been the most rewarding thing that's come out of Reborn for you?
I think to hear the testimonies of the people that had come to the experiences, and how the message touched their lives, how it caused change, and it caused their thoughts to be elevated. I think that's the most important thing, is just to see people do better and get better and are healed, from a lot of the pain of the past. So, and just really be excited about the future.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, to let people know that we serve the God of the next thing. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you're struggling with now, there's always something more. And if you just keep pushing, if you keep walking, if you keep following God, you'll walk into your next thing. So that's very rewarding.
Yes,
ma'am.
That is encouraging. So if somebody's out there and they would like to join Reborn, how would they go about joining Reborn?
It's a few ways. Definitely coming to the Reborn experience and connecting with the team is probably the best way. But also you can go to our website, which is www.missionreborn.org, and you can actually sign up online as well. So, but we prefer you just come into the experience so that way we can meet you and you can meet us, and you can, kind of tie a face with the organization. So that's what we would prefer.
Okay, and Reborn develops leaders.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I know from just being involved for just a short period of time of at least a couple of people that you are promoting through Reborn with their talents.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. I know Rico has a photography business, and also Keisha. And so tell me about some of the people who are involved and how Reborn is supporting them and helping them develop their talents.
Actually, those two would be a great example. There's probably about 10 or 12 others who are, who I could call right now, and they're developing. And though Rico and Keisha have branched out and begin to chase their passions and start their businesses, and that's one element of what we want to see. We want to see people do what Peter did. Go from just being a fisherman to fishers of men, like really going to the next level. So that could be in business, that could be when it comes to your relationship, that could be in anything. We've got people who are now getting into politics, people who are progressing in the educational arena. So we just want to see people take leadership positions on earth, period. So and that's what it's all about. That's
yes.
Yeah.
Because when the people of God reign, then people of the earth rejoice,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so we want to help do that all we can.
That's right.
All right, so now let's encourage the people to come again to the Reborn event, and I want you to tell us at least a few of the secrets that you're holding back on, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I think coming to the Reborn experience would definitely be a blessing. I think being exposed to an environment that really supports growth is essential to our own personal development. If you put a rose in the desert, it'll dry up and die. But if you put that same rose in an environment where it's conducive to grow, it will flourish. So I think coming to the experience, joining the organization would be that environment for one to really maximize and become the best version of themselves, and become everything God has called them to be. So that's why I think coming to the experience would be awesome.
Okay.
So, but you say secrets?
Yeah. Some of the surprises that they may experience while they're there.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think the best form of communication creates a picture in your mind.
Yes.
I think that's the best form. So we're just trying to take that element to the next level. So when you come on the 24th, we hope that occurs. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
And then, so some of the ways that you're going to try to promote the event in the community, is there a car wash?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, we're planning to have a car wash here in LaGrange in a few weeks. The exact date hasn't been determined yet, so we will be getting that out as soon as possible. But it's just a way to kind of, serve the community and just let people in the community know about the organization and what we want to do and how we want to help this county.
So they'll need to be looking out for the Reborn shirts.
Yes.
And you have on one today
Yes.
that's
Yes,
a
ma'am.
white shirt, and then they're the black shirts.
Yes, ma'am.
And so look for the Reborn, and if you see them, you'll know that they're offering free car washes, right?
Yes. Yep.
And
yep.
just want to get a chance to know Troup County and know the citizens here, and to bring Christ to us in a fresh and new way. And so tell me, I know that we're the next county that you're reaching out into. What do you want to accomplish in Troup County?
I think the mission, and I know I'm echoing it, is really just to help create leaders in our communities, because without leaders, everything suffers. Our family suffers, and when there's no leader in the family, that has the tendency to create a pain that lingers, on into your adulthood and bleed over into other areas, bleed over into, our school system, with kids growing up without that type of structure. That leader in the home can affect their education. It affects policy that's passed in the government. It affects everything. So I feel like if that was Jesus' mission, and that's what Jesus did. He took 12 ordinary men and turned them into leaders. They were his disciples. So I think it's an honorable mission to have, is to create leaders, so that way the kingdom of God can reign. So
that's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I know that you're even interested in serving as mentors.
Yeah.
Yes,
ma'am. Yes,
so
ma'am.
that's great. We need mentors in Troup County.
Yes, ma'am. And we actually started that already. There's a couple of organizations actually in LaGrange that we've partnered with over the last few years. So that's definitely an area of focus for us. So yeah.
Okay, well, we just want to encourage you to come out on Sunday, July the 24th at 7:30 to 9, and have a Reborn experience. And I can guarantee you that it will be a time where you will enjoy it, and also it will be very impressive. It will be a great evening, so don't miss it. Thank you for watching You Make the Difference, and remember, you truly do.